spells. Welcome to Ageless Secrets, where ancient wisdom meets modern science to unlock the hidden keys of timeless living. In this episode, we explore one of the most overlooked yet transformative forces in human potential. It is not technology, movement, or even thought, it is silence. This episode is called The Silence Solution: Unleash Inner Creativity. In a world overflowing with noise, we've forgotten the sound of our own thoughts, not notifications, chatter, the hum of screens. Our senses are constantly invaded by sound and stimulus. Yet, deep within that chaos, there lies a power waiting to be rediscovered. Silence is not the absence of sound, it is the presence of awareness. It is the space in which creativity awakens, where intuition speaks, and where your mind finds clarity beyond the clutter of daily life. Throughout history, the greatest minds, artists, and visionaries have known this secret. Beethoven composed masterpieces in moments of stillness. Einstein would sit for hours in silence, allowing ideas to form and connect. Ancient sages sought quiet caves and open deserts to listen not to the world, but to themselves. They knew that silence is not emptiness, it is creation in its purest form. Science now confirms what the ancients always knew. When we enter states of quiet reflection, our brainwaves shift from the fast, chaotic beta state into alpha and theta rhythms, states linked with creativity, insight, and problem-solving. In silence, the prefrontal cortex, which handles logic and control, relaxes, allowing deeper, more intuitive parts of the brain to activate. This is when the magic happens, when inspiration flows freely, unrestrained by the noise of thought. Imagine for a moment that your mind is like a lake, tall. Every sound, every distraction, every thought is a stone tossed into it. The water ripples and stirs, distorting the reflection of the sky. But when the lake becomes still, it mirrors everything perfectly. That stillness is what silence gives you. It allows your mind to become clear, reflective, open. In that clarity, your inner creativity emerges naturally, effortlessly. But how often do we give ourselves that silence? We fear it. We fill every empty moment with music, conversation, scrolling, or distraction. We are uncomfortable with quiet because it confronts us with ourselves. Yet, it is only by facing that inner space that we can hear the whisper of inspiration that lives within. Let's journey deeper into the science of silence. Studies show that even just 2 hours of silence per day can lead to new neuron growth in the hippocampus, the part of the brain associated with memory, emotion, and learning. In silence, the brain literally repairs and rewires itself. When you withdraw from external noise, your brain shifts energy from reacting to creating. You move from survival mode to visionary mode. Think of your brain like a symphony orchestra. Every instrument represents a thought, emotion, or sense. In daily life, all the instruments play at once, slowly, chaotically. But in silence, the conductor lifts his hands and pauses. In that moment of stillness, the orchestra regains harmony. That pause, that stillness, is where brilliance is born. Creativity does not come from adding more, it comes from subtracting the unnecessary. The artist creates not by adding to the stone, but by removing what does not belong. The same is true for your mind. Silence carves away the noise so that the masterpiece within you can emerge. You may wonder, how do we access this kind of silence in a world that never stops talking? It begins with intention. You don't need to escape to the mountains or meditate for hours. Begin with 5 minutes. Sit in stillness, away from screens and sound. Focus on your breath. Feel the quiet expanding around you and within you. Notice the thoughts that arise. Let them pass like clouds. With time, that silence will become familiar, comforting, alive. Silence is also a conversation. When you stop speaking, life begins to talk. The wind, the heartbeat, the subtle rhythm of existence all become audible. In silence, you remember that you are part of something vast and intelligent, something beyond words. It's a space where intuition whispers solutions you've been searching for. Modern research in neuroscience has found that during moments of silence, the default mode network, the part of the brain responsible for creativity and imagination, becomes highly active. This network connects distant ideas, forms new patterns, and generates insights that conscious thought alone cannot produce. That's why the best ideas often appear in the shower, on a walk, or in the quiet before sleep. In stillness, the mind connects dots you didn't even know existed. The greatest artists, inventors, and philosophers all spoke of this. Leonardo da Vinci wrote, "Nothing strengthens authority so much as silence." He knew that the power to create begins in still observation. When you learn to be silent, you learn to see. And when you learn to see deeply, you create with purpose. But silence is not just about external quiet. True silence is an inner state. You can find it in a crowded city, in the middle of chaos, if you learn to quiet the mind. It's a space of detachment, a calm awareness that observes without judgment. When you live from that space, every act becomes creative, every word intentional, every thought meaningful. Silence is also deeply healing. In silence, your nervous system resets, your heart rate slows, your stress hormones decrease, and your immune system strengthens. Silence allows the body to move from fight or flight to repair. It's like pressing a reset button for both mind and body. Imagine waking each day and beginning not with your phone, but with silence. Sitting for a few minutes, breathing, listening. You'd start your day in alignment, rather than reaction. Over time, that practice rewires the brain for focus, peace, and creativity. In our culture, silence is often seen as weakness, as awkward, as something to be filled. But the wise know it is strength. It is the power behind every powerful word. It is the pause between musical notes that gives them meaning. Without silence, there is no music, only noise. So, how can you make silence your ally? Create sacred spaces in your day. A morning walk without headphones. A few moments before bed without screens. A silent meal, where you taste and feel every bite. A few minutes of mindful breathing between tasks. These simple moments reconnect you with your inner rhythm, the pulse of life that has always been there, waiting beneath the noise. As you begin to live with more silence, you'll notice something extraordinary. Your creativity doesn't just increase, it transforms. Ideas flow effortlessly. Inspiration arrives unexpectedly. You begin to trust your intuition. The world becomes more vivid, and your actions more deliberate. You no longer chase creativity, it finds you. The silent solution is not about withdrawal. It's about awakening. It's about remembering that inside you lies a source of infinite creativity, wisdom, and calm. Silence is the doorway to that inner universe. It teaches you that you are not separate from inspiration. You are its vessel. As we come to the end of this journey, I invite you to close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Let the noise of the world fade. Feel the stillness beneath it, all the stillness that has been here all along. That silence is your teacher, your healer, your muse. Listen to it, and you will never lose your way. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Ageless Secrets. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to our channel for more explorations into timeless living, inner peace, and the hidden science of vitality. Remember, creativity is not found in chaos, it is born in calm. Until next time, stay silent, stay aware, and stay ageless.